You know, a little more than half an inch on top of like the 70 inches we've gotten so far. Put us out of the field here for, I think we're going on like 3 weeks. We haven't been able to get into the field. There's a chance if we miss this rain that's coming up next, we can get in. We need to get some spraying done. Working currently on some oddball projects. Like today, Colt's headed off to go get some metal pipeline posts to put in around some apple trees. We planted some apple trees yesterday at the patch. We've got like 100 and some that are showing up here on Friday. Gonna try and ship out some grain here today. Got a rototill garden. Lots of oddball stuff going on because what we're gonna be trying to get the grain out of is gonna be an interesting task. Let's get to work. Well, Colt's off getting the pipes, and he's actually should be back up here. And I rototilled the garden, didn't GoPro that, so it was muddy. There's mud chunks everywhere. And I about got this truck about loaded. We're in these smaller bins here, so I don't know. I think it just sumped out. I was literally saying, I think it's gonna sump out, and I think it's gonna sump out. Colt better hurry up because he can fit through that hole up there. I cannot. Gotta wait on Colt. Those are not 10-foot pipes. They are? Huh. So this is for pumpkin patch apple orchard project. That's what's going in there. We're on 50 and we go to 70. Huh? We're on 50 and we go to 70. So I don't know about you guys, but messing with all those small bins like we are right now really makes me want to get another one of these guys, or a few of these guys put up. So this year we're continuing our partnership with GSI. Always exciting to do. I got a few cool videos kind of trying to get lined up for you guys, but we'll be continuing to work on those. But to start out, if there is a video that you guys want to see. Maybe I can do a viewer selected topic video and try and put it together for you guys. So let me know about that in the comment section down below, and maybe we might choose one of your guys' subjects. But let's chat about a couple of things here. So if you're like me and you put a bunch of crop in the grain bins and it's been an outlier year to normally the price of the grain goes up after you put it into the grain bins, well, it's slid kind of downwards this year. You might have more grain this time of year than you've ever had, especially if you couple that with the really long planting season that we've had. So if you are like me, let's talk about a few tips headed into these summer warmer months to keep the grain quality as high as possible for us as we warm up. So the first thing you got to do is actually continually try and raise the temperature on the grain inside those grain bins. Just as the temperature cools down in the winter months or later into the fall, you run the fans, you cool that grain down, and if you actually put your hand on the side of these grain bins, they're really pretty darn cool. That corn's a great insulator. It'll keep that corn nice and cool, but the issue is after you've spent all that time cooling that mass of grain down, is that now that is cooler and we are starting to get warmer outside. So as the temperatures warm up, you need to every now and then run your fans to try and blow some of that warm air into the grain bins to warm your grain back up. Why would you need to do that? Well, if you actually have a great temperature difference in between the inside and the outside of the inside of the bin, so the grain inside the bin, the air inside the bin, and the outside of the bin, when the sun hits that, it's going to condensate, and when it condensates, it can cause some spoilage inside your grain bin. So the industry standard is to have about 10 degrees of difference in between the inside and the outside of your grain bin. It's not something that you have to worry about every single day, but if you're going to be continually holding on to this grain for a little while longer, you might, with some of these nicer days that we have, is to actually run your fans for a little while, throw some warmer grain into that grain bin, warm that grain up so that actually the temperature difference in between the inside of the grain bin and the outside of the grain bin are about the same. Like I said, industry standard is around 10 degrees worth of difference. The other thing you can easily quickly do, and one of the reasons why I was in a big hurry to get the grain out of the little grain bins that we are currently working on, which you guys are seeing in this video, is that last year with the drought, we had moistures very sporadic throughout the field. And some of the corn that went into those grain bins actually bounced around upwards of the 19 to 20% range. It also get down to like 14%. So we had some wetter grain get in there, and I thought that we would be able to hold on to it for a little while. I wasn't planning on holding on to it for as long as I did. So needless to say, even though that's a 5,000-ish bushel, 4,500 bushel bin, I was getting nervous about the quality of the grain in that grain bin. And I was right. We did have a little bit of spoilage happening in there, but the damage was not that high. And I would take moisture samples as it came out. Some of it was coming out at 17, some was coming out at 14.5. So luckily, we got that grain out of there when we did before it actually started to warm up a lot, because I figured as soon as it actually does start warming up a lot, that grain would really start to try and spoil pretty quickly on us. So we did get that out. So something that also really figures into your storage into these months is the moisture that it was put into the grain bin at. There's some charts online that can kind of tell you or guide you along the path of storage at different moistures. I'll put one of those links down in the description. But the big one is what is the moisture that you actually put the corn or beans into the bin at. Another thing that makes it way easier for farmers to monitor the quality of the grain in their grain bin, and something that I think everybody should be doing, and I will continue to do with every grain bin that I put up, and might try and put another one of these into another grain bin this year. So I think we're gonna have some wet grain. Automated grain monitoring systems. You guys have seen us put the grain view system in. It's been 2 years ago now. We have been wanting to test it out where we use it to actually dry down corn. Something that we will probably be testing out this year. the other thing that we've always wanted to test out, but we have not put into this bin yet, is rehydrating soybeans. What we can do with that system, and what we have done with that system, is put it into smart storage mode. So when we put it into smart storage mode, it automatically will turn the fans on if the grain is already dry, and it will cool down the temperature of that grain, basically like we just talked about, as the outside conditions allow. And it will also, in reverse, raise the temperature of that grain as need be coming into this type of year. So putting your grain system into smart storage mode basically kind of eliminates some of these steps. Plus gives you this peace of mind if something bad's gonna happen. Like this year, we took some grain out of a dryer bin that we thought was all dry, put it into that bin, actually near the floor of it, and turns out it wasn't all dry, and I get a phone call from the Grain View system, and it's telling us, hey, you guys have a hotspot developing. You might want to really go check that out. And sure enough, we did. We had a hotspot developing. We got the fans on and got it taken care of. Saved our bacon. Next step is to start using your steps pretty frequently as we warm up here. That's why we put these nice stairs and handrails on our bins so that we can safely climb them and check out what's going on. Flip our latches here. And then visually inspect the inside of your grain bins. This is the one that we're going to pull out of later in the video here. See if we got any crusting happening. If you have any crusting happening, you'll have, that's kind of an indication that you might have some spoilage happening. Look along the side walls, see if the grain's flowing okay. The crusting, when you see it, you'll know that you have it going on. Other thing that you need to do is use your nose. You should be able to not smell anything corny other than the smell of corn. So take the time, visually inspect your grain and your grain bins, get a little cardio in, you know, work off a LB or two, visually look over other parts too. That's just an added bonus. But the last thing is if you do suspect that you have something bad going on, either by visually checking like that or your automated system indicating you that you have grain starting to spoil, move that into your marketing plan, get that grain moved so that it doesn't get to the point where it's damaged and the elevators start to either dock you or, even worse, reject it, and then you have a whole nother set of problems on your hands. So anyways, all of this information I did get from GSI's website. They have a great blog post. I have multiple blog posts on there, which are resources for you to use to kind of expand your knowledge around storing and handling your grain. I'll have their link in the website. Like I said, if you guys have any videos that you'd like to see, let me know about them in the comment section, and we'll see if we can maybe get a viewer video done. Back to the small bins. Yeah. Since we've sumped out, we are now on the vacuum wagon.
So we got set up right there into that, but now the question is do we have enough room to get skinnied in here at this weird angle? Should work, might work, hope it works.
I got my headphones in my silver truck, or I got those earmuffs in that truck, whatever one you want. This one's loaded, and gonna go switch to get another semi to get that bin empty, and then we'll have to do some serious engineering to get to getting the next bin on the next bin, to the next bin, something along those lines. Laying down on the job. Okay, got a wagon. So we can go from back to a wagon to an auger to the road to the truck. Snow dogs. Next morning, after getting that bin empty there, and this truck is not full, so we're gonna go scale it and see how much corn's on it. So we're gonna be jockeying this truck onto a custom haul truck. Free it up, just one truck to another truck. Here's our first planted soybeans. We're up. There's gonna be some hootie kaying today. came up with. We do have corn going onto a truck that's being augered out of the wagon in the way it's being dragged. That's pretty cool. So we've gotten 2 trucks loaded. Things are going decent. We've had one slight mess up where we might have pulled the door a little too early and we had some corn slide on it. We've got leaks everywhere. Raccoons are going to love this place. Yeah. That's a whoop. We'll get it. So we wrangled that vac hose there the rest of the day. Got that one undone. Feeling plenty tired about that. It's like until you've done that, you never know. But our sight glass has lost its cover to make sure that there's grain going through there. So we've got to get it replaced real quick. And we're also lucky that we took this down the road, but we weren't legal. So now we're licensing our auger so that when we haul it down the road next time, we won't get pulled over by the DOT.
The issue is, I don't even license my pickup, so I don't have any more license plates to forfeit around.
Well, this
here.
one was mine. They gave me up. They made me change my license plate. So here we are, patching augers with license plates. How many license plates do you think we've used over the last year? Over or under 10?
Oh, I would say over, definitely.
Yeah, we've used quite a few license plates. So if you have any extra license plates, send them on over because I patch job things with license plates.
The bottom of the Kinsey grain cart around here.
Oh yeah, that's still holding strong.
It's
got like 2 or 3 of them on. No, that's a slow moving vehicle sign.
Yeah, maybe that was something. Yeah. Regardless.
But we gotta patch this hole here and then we got a hole up top that we're gonna try and patch up. We're licensed. Incoming goosebumps.
Cut towards your body, not your buddy. That's just quite a deal.
Hopefully we don't need any more tape the rest of the day. Is that it?
I don't know. I think I love it.
I think that's good for another 100,000 bushels.
You got any spray paint? Make it match.
Make it match. All right, we're moving on to the wet bin, even though that's what it will be at some point in time, will be a wet bin. It's the GSI bin that we put up 2 years ago now. Straighten out.
But you don't have a remote to just put that thing right in there.
You need another license plate for that. We're good. You might need to go forward a little. But that's where we're gonna polish that video off. We got a lot more grain here we gotta get hauled, so we'll be heading back into the grain hauling videos here shortly. But coming up, we got 1 or 2 more planting videos for you guys, and then by the time we finish planting, actually, it's time to head in straight to harvesting some hay, cutting some hay, putting some hay up, rounding it up. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Check out the GSI website. Adios. Well, Molly's officially hooked. She's now the proud owner of an itty bitty little tractor. And the best part of this deal, the thing that I got, was the guy says, well, I don't have any use anything else that's diesel, so you want my diesel jug? Check it out. A legit gas can. He gave me a legit gas can. Best part of the deal.